fortifications were to be destroyed. Her army was to be reduced to 100,000 men. No air force, no submarines, to accept blame for starting the war and pay reparations. So, in October 1919, the German delegates were brought to the Great Hall of Mirrors at Versailles to sign the peace treaty. It was a compromise peace that satisfied not even one single Allied leader, and predictably the Germans loathed it. The Germans argued that the Germany to which they were returning had suffered poverty and unemployment in the years since the war, and couldn't afford the vast sums demanded by the Allies. But these arguments didn't impress the Allies, who fixed the sum of £6,600 million for the Germans to pay. That sum would have to be paid in goods as well as money. Most would come from here in the Ruhr, the industrial heart of Germany. But at the end of 1922, the Germans fell behind with their payments, and Raymond Poincaré, the new French Prime Minister, decided to act. If Germany wouldn't pay in full and on the nail, then France would help herself. So, on the 11th of January 1923, French and Belgian troops entered the Ruhr to force the Germans to pay up. There was, of course, after Versailles, no German army big enough to stop them. At first, the French believed that they could make the Germans work for them. But suddenly, German politicians and people were united in a common cause: hatred of the French. And huge protest meetings were held all over Germany. Their attitude towards the Germans in the Ruhr began to harden. They tried to cut the Ruhr off from the rest of the country. German visitors were searched as if they were entering a foreign land.
Welcome to the N.Eww. It's the 5th day of OneZzz, I believe. I can't read my graph. Yeah.
West Prussia, which was taken from the Reich, and Poland under the Versailles Treaty, the situation was similar. Due to the loss of West Prussia, East Prussia was now completely cut off from Germany. This untenable situation would, thus, constitute the second of the three reasons for the eventual outbreak of what would become World War II. Even as Germany is still looking for a peaceful settlement, Poland is already thinking seriously about war. In February, the Polish General Staff develops guidelines for military operations against Germany. On March 4th, the so-called Main Staff begins planning for Operation West, a full month before Hitler orders the leadership of the Wehrmacht for an attack against Poland. At this point, the World War I allies have already placed their bets on the outcome of this game. As early as March 1939, London and Paris guaranteed their support to Warsaw in the event that it was torched. In Galicia, Ukraine is already gained, while Germans are forcibly deported by the thousands. German stores are boycotted, and on 3 separate occasions, Polish air defenses opened fire on German Lufthansa civilian airline transport planes en route to Königsberg. Ethnic Germans now become a wave of refugees. Night after night, Polish border officials shot at the fleeing Germans. Nonetheless, many would try to make their way to safety and freedom. Shortly before the official outbreak of war, there were already 80,000 ethnic Germans in refugee camps in both Danzig and the German Reich. Hitler, on numerous occasions, advised the English and the French administration that, with regard to this drama, a solution to the German-Polish question cannot be delayed anymore. The misery of the minority Germans in Poland, 1939, had now developed the third and most pressing reason that would lead to the outbreak of World War II.
Hitler now has a problem that Britain and France will declare war on them. At this point, Poland is actually committing pretty bad atrocities against the German minority in West Prussia, the German part of Poland at that time. And so given that Poles are committing atrocities against the German minority in Poland, Hitler is now at a very tough situation. Basically, it's like, all right, if I don't declare war on Poland, if I don't go in and help these Germans out, then the German minority is just going to keep getting slaughtered. And it's not an insignificant amount of Germans in that area who were being killed. I mean, it was pretty bad what was going on with the Poles were doing in that area. And so he was basically saying, well, if we don't go in, then those Germans are just going to keep getting slaughtered. If we go in, well, then we're going to find ourselves at war with Poland, France, and Britain, and possibly the Soviet Union.
But in a move of brilliant cunning, he astonished the world in the summer of 1939 by doing a deal with Stalin on his side. Hitler was sure nobody else would interfere when he attacked the Poles.
While the military commissions of the Western powers are still negotiating in Moscow with a view of enlisting Russia in their front against Germany, Vice Foreign Minister von Ribbentrop arrived to the Soviet capital to sign a pact of non-aggression and consultation with Stalin and Foreign Commissar Molotov. The view of an event marked in all the House to address the Reichstag, which has been called an extraordinary session. Rat und Gift have a culture stock. Danzig was and is a German city. Have only Germany to thank for their cultural development. Versuchen sollte, auf dem Weg sozialpolitischer Maßnahmen Danzig wirtschaftlich zu vernichten, dass ganz Deutschland nicht mehr länger untätig zusehen könnte. I told the Polish ambassador 3 weeks ago that if the situation continued as it was, if Danzig were persecuted and were attempted by Poland to ruin Danzig economically, the situation could not be tolerated. We interrupt this broadcast about Adolf Hitler's speech just momentarily to report a dispatch from Paris which says that Premier Delade of France has now called the French Council of Ministers for an emergency meeting. Die haben nicht daher nun entschlossen, mit Polen in der gleichen Sprache zu reden, wie der Polen und der Polen. therefore resolve to speak to Poland in the same language in which Poland has addressed us for such a long time.